Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Hops, Beans, and Leaves. Tonight we have a Chinakin. We have ourselves the son of a redcoat.
How you doing?
And of course we have the only Hogan on TV without a sex tape right now that we know of.
His name's Popeye.
I got some, they're just not online yet.
So welcome to the show. This is Hops, Beans, and Leaves. How's it going, guys?
Good, man. How you doing?
Super
Fantastic.
Don't make it sound so bad. It's another episode.
Another episode. It's been a long day, man. You know.
Yes.
You were out there in the sun with me today. We were over at India Motorcycles. They were doing the test ride days here in Fredericksburg.
Ooh, did you get a test ride a motorcycle then?
I test rode a couple of them, actually.
No?
So,
Very
got to get out on a couple of the bikes, try them out. Hector, did you get out on any of them too?
No, not today. I was slaving away.
You'll be out there tomorrow
Yeah.
at some point.
I'll probably still be cooking tomorrow too.
So,
Mexican always cook.
hey, gotta have you on the grill. So what's everyone smoking tonight? I've got just started off, I've got a Cane Daytona, which Hector literally gave to me about 2 minutes ago. I don't have a clue. So far, first drag, just a smooth, even-bodied cigar. So we'll see as we get deeper into it.
And those pipe smokers are smoking an English blend.
So,
Yeah, what's that all about?
Westminster by GLPs. GLPs is one of the premier pipe blenders in the country right now. This is a strong English blend. It's got a lot of Cyprian, a lot of Kia. Gives it a nice creamy, smooth flavor. It's also got red Virginia, some bright Virginia, and some Oriental, which gives it some spice. It's a really good blend.
Nice. What are you smoking, Hector?
Smoking. I'm smoking. I was gonna say
We're just throwing it all over the place tonight, aren't we?
I'm
This is gonna be the
smoking
fun episode.
it's a La Flor Dominicana. It's a double clado. That's got a Candela wrap. Honestly, I didn't know they made these, so I'm looking forward to it because I'm a fan of that Candela, which for me, Candelas have a lot of bitterness that I like to smoke. So
Well, you're a bitter individual.
yeah,
so.
I am.
He did have a comment, and he said weed. So
Weed.
Weed. Yeah.
It's the tweed, dog.
Wow, hey, man, wow.
So what are we drinking?
We're drinking a new one. It's a, last time I seen this was 2012.
That shit is
Oh.
fantastic.
This is called Mango Magnifico, and it's from Founders in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's a 10%. It's a fruit vegetable beer.
Oh,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome.
And it's got the mango, and it's got the habanero pepper in the finish. So it's,
That's what it is.
Heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the heat.
Bring in the heat.
I think this fruit beer shows kind of the style. You know, these fruit beers, they tend to be a little too sweet. So, you know, like
That's not.
kind of one-sided.
With that jalapeno, it reminds me of a Mexican candy that I like to eat. It's mango flavored, but it has a chili powder on it, and it's got that sweet bite, but it's also got that spice right behind it.
Yeah, kind of like
Is it
a play on the
the
like the
dried
salty
mango?
sweet thing.
Yeah, it's like a dried mango,
Yeah.
and then they put that chili powder on it. It's good stuff. This is good.
Yeah, it's
Don't put it
tasty.
away.
Oh, the
Or did we
chili
finish it
lollipop.
already?
The chili
The chili
lollipop.
lollipop.
I will say, get it at my shop while it lasts. I've got 12 bottles, so that's it.
Once it's gone, it's
She
gone.
gone.
So
So
a couple of them might be gone with us. So
I
And,
call dibs.
Oh. Also, it's a 10%,
Dibs.
10% ABV, so it's a heavy boy.
So the big part of tonight's episode, like we said last week, is going to be cleaning your pipe and just maintenance and.
You walked right into that one.
We're going to leave that alone. Try that again. Anyway,
We know a few people who need to clean their pipe.
we do.
Yeah.
We got a handful of them. Alfredo, shout out to you. Hope you're watching. So anyway, man, has it been as long of a week for you guys as it has for me?
It has.
It's
been a really long
Tuesday
one.
and it feels like it's been 8 days long.
Yeah.
So,
I think we're all. Yeah.
so just real quick, cheers,
Cheers, boys.
This stuff is delicious.
and let's get into
Glad you guys are
Hogan's
enjoying it.
cleaning your pipe.
Almost coughed on that habanero.
It is spicy.
That'll be this Hogan sex tape.
All right, so tonight we're going to talk about cleaning your pipe, keeping it fresh, keeping you from getting that sour taste that can develop
That's
over
what
time.
she said.
That's what she said.
Also, Hogan, I will be taking questions, so
Absolutely.
Pops up,
Any questions, hit me up.
I might be interrupting you from time to time.
Absolutely. Feel free. There's kind of 3 different times you want to clean your pipe. You want to clean your pipe every time after you smoke it. And that's going to prevent that sour thing from happening. It's going to keep your pipe dry and fresh. And then from time to time, you're going to notice a little sour taste come. That just comes from the burning process, leaves like residual whatever in your pipe that sours the taste. And it doesn't. You get that not so fresh feeling. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is a really, really deep clean. And that's something you want to do if you get an estate pipe, which is a fancy word for a used pipe. Or if you have a ghosting.
This is going to be a hard episode. I can already.
This is
What?
tough, dude.
We're going to stick all kinds of stuff in the pipe tonight.
We got a comment that says he actually said sour taste come.
Yes, he did. He did.
I mean, I don't know about you guys.
The
I don't like when that sour taste comes.
The rating on this episode is going to NC-17 in about 2 minutes.
Oh, goodness. Oh, I've been trying to hold
Sorry,
it.
Hogan.
It's all good. So
Let's roll.
we're going to get into the first thing I was talking about, which is what you want to do every time after you finish smoking your pipe. So I've been smoking this pipe. I'm done with it. So the first thing I want to do is get the tobacco out of the bowl. And I'm using the check pipe tool. I like to use this little poker on the end. I'm just going to take it, stick it in there, kind of dump it out, and get rid of all the tobacco that's inside. And I'm going to knock it off on my hand and get everything out of there. When you're doing this, you always want to grab it by the bowl, not by the stem. If you do this move, that puts too much stress on that joint right there, and you can break your pipe, which is ungood. So what we're going to need now,
Ungood.
we're going to need pipe cleaners. I have 3 different kinds of pipe cleaners. I have bristle pipe cleaners, I have fluffy pipe cleaners, and I have super fluffy pipe cleaners. And so this pipe has a smaller draft hole, so I'm going to use the smaller fluffy pipe cleaner. So you're just going to take it.
And if you've ever had your bore punched, it's not a good feeling.
You're
You
just
guys are
gonna,
terrible. I feel bad for you, Hogan.
I'm trying. So we're gonna gently push it in until it gets all the way in and comes out the side. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna bend it once, down, and bend it twice.
And this
here.
is called the Superman technique.
This is called the Soldier Boy crank dat method.
Oh, Soldier Boy, crank that.
We are gonna now what
Here we go.
you've basically done is you've made yourself a crank. So you're gonna take it, and you're gonna spin it as you pull it out. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna get all on the sides and get all that good stuff out. So you're cranking and you're pulling.
It's gonna be tough.
I don't think that I can get through a single sentence without something that sounded dirty on this episode.
In a crank and pull.
All right.
Our studio audience is loving this, by the way.
So we're just cranking and pulling on that pipe. All right. And as you can see, this pipe cleaner came out with lots of gunky goop that was inside of the pipe. A lot of moisture on there.
Yeah, that's normally what happens when you get your bore punched.
Yep.
Gunky goop comes out.
And then we're going to take the same pipe cleaner. We're going to make a little U shape. We're going to put it in the bowl and just kind of spin it around.
You don't like gunk out of there.
And get all the gunky goop out of there. And you see how that turned nice and brown. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take care of the top. The top of your pipe, it gets tar built up here, and it just looks ugly. It doesn't look good. This is a smooth pipe, so I want this nice smooth thing to look real good. So we're going to go into our bag of tricks. We have Q-tips. They're not just for cleaning ears anymore. You're going to take this, you're going to get a little bit of saliva in there. Saliva is the best thing to get this rim tar off of there. So
You're just giving it a rim job.
I was waiting for
so
it.
you make it
The
wet,
keywords on this episode are going to be phenomenal.
make it wet, and then you're going to give it a nice little rim job. You're going to go around the rim, just kind of rubbing.
One thing I like to do is I'll take my finger and just kind of rub it around the rim.
That's actually a really good thing to do before you smoke your pipe. It creates a little barrier that helps prevent this from happening.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but as funny as it is, though, but it's practical stuff. So I mean,
this is really important stuff that you guys are just laughing and making fun of over here.
easy to remember.
Yeah.
What do I got to do to it? Just give it a rim job. You'd be all right.
Yep. So we got the rim job. We've got all that black stuff off of there.
That's what happens when you give out rim jobs.
All right.
You get all that brown stuff on your tongue.
So the last thing I'm gonna do before I put this pipe away is this pipe it's got a smooth finish. It's got really nice grain on it, and I want to bring that grain out. So I'm just using olive oil. Got it at the house, regular olive oil.
Wow.
Probably gonna make a mess.
That's all right. He said we could beat up this table, so.
It is
Breaking out the grease.
gonna go through the apocalypse. It ought to be able to get through me. So I'm just getting a little bit of this on my finger.
He already did spit on it.
Yep. And I'm just rubbing it on. And as you can see, it's already just really brightening it up, making it super shiny. Get it all the way around. You can do the stem.
And let me ask you, that flavor is not gonna.
Not gonna do anything. You won't notice it at all.
Okay.
It'll dry and evaporate off. Something I learned from an old timer. Old timers got lots of good tricks when it comes to pipe smoking. They've been doing it a while.
How long does it take to dry?
Usually takes about an hour or so.
Okay.
Let it dry off, and then after it dries off, you can wipe it off. But since we don't have time to wait, I'm just gonna go ahead. I got a nice soft, kind of a microfiber cloth will do. You don't want anything super scratchy. It's gonna mess up your finish. And I'm just gonna wipe that oil off.
Look at that.
And
Shine
I
it
don't
up
know
real
if you
nice.
guys can
Gorgeous.
see. This is a Sam Learned pipe. It's an American pipe maker, hand carved. It's got really beautiful grain on it, and that olive oil really helped shine that pipe right up.
It's got a really nice shape to it too.
Yeah. Okay,
Nice
see it.
grain.
I really.
All right, so
would that be like a deviled egg shape then, or no? Kind of, sort of.
this would be like a bent egg, maybe. All the pipes don't necessarily fit into one category. They usually just do whatever comes to mind. But it's got an eggy shape to it.
I got a bent egg.
Yeah,
Ain't no good.
yeah,
No bueno.
no good.
No bueno.
That beer and this Candela, perfect fit.
Yep.
Perfect fit.
All right, so
So now it
now
would be the same with the 88 Candela.
Because I haven't had mine yet. Is it the spiciness in it maybe, or
The spiciness in this and the bitterness in this,
Yeah.
just really nice. Just really nice pair.
kind of counteracts that
Yeah.
sweetness in there a little bit
Yeah.
with the mango?
Yep.
Very cool.
all right, so now we are done. So this pipe is ready to rest. And you want to let your pipe rest for as long as you can, really, at least 24 hours to 48 hours. If you've got enough pipes, I won't smoke this again for a week. And that gives it a chance to let all that stuff just dry out. And if you don't have a good rotation yet, if you've only got a handful of pipes, you're going to need to be cleaning more often. Because if you give it a chance to really fully dry out, you don't get as much buildup. If you're smoking it more often, you're going to get that sour taste quicker because you're smoking it more. But I'm going to put this away. And I have for you a super dirty pipe. Where's my super dirty pipe? You see my pipe?
You have a missing super dirty
That one
place.
right there?
No, I had a corn cob somewhere.
That one? No, that's not it.
Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. My super dirty pipe
The general.
is the General from Missouri Meerschaum. He's got a General right there. It's a really good smoking pipe. It's cheap. Costs like $12. And this is actually one of my truck pipes, one of my work pipes. So I smoke this pipe way more often than I do my other pipes, so I have to clean it way more often. So I'm going to set down a little paper towel.
Where can we buy these pipes? Smokingpipes.com is a great place. I think that's where I go.
SmokingPipes.com. You can go to corncobpipes.com and buy them direct from Missouri Meerschaum.
Also, Hector, you have corncob pipes here, don't you?
I have a few. Got to pick up some more. I'm learning as we go. So, I mean, a lot of the stuff that he's been showing us is stuff that I like this stuff. I would have never known about it. You know, so eventually, yeah, we'll have it on the shelf.
Sounds good. So for this step, this is a more deep cleaning for when you get that not so fresh taste. Your pipe's soured a little bit and your blends aren't tasting like they used to. You're getting that bitter, sour taste and it's detracting from your experience. So we want to get rid of that.
We did have one question that was, does Hogshead carry pipes? And the answer is yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, we have.
Some really nice pipes.
Hector has quite a few pipes, so he's got quite a nice selection.
And so for this step, we're going to need the bristly pipe cleaners and alcohol. I prefer to use grain alcohol like Everclear, but unfortunately too many kids drank too much of it and now it's illegal. So we're going to use this isopropyl alcohol, the highest you can get. This is 91%. It's going to work good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a
Gary,
paper
can you
towel.
get the door, please?
And I'm going to just push this down inside. And that's going to help keep this alcohol I'm about to use from getting all inside the bowl.
We've got one more question. What is Hector smoking?
I'm smoking the LFD Double Clado. Ed stopped by earlier today, about noon, dropped off a handful. This is definitely going on the shelf soon, so look out for it. It's a Double Clado. It's a nice candela. It's not as bitter as I thought it was going to be.
Yep.
But man, I'm telling you, it's pairing up with this.
Brought the perfect beer, the Mango Magnifico from
Mango
Founders.
Magnifico.
It's very magnifique.
Very, very magnifique.
All right, so we're going to take our bristly pipe cleaners and our isopropyl alcohol. I'm just going to dip it in here. Get a little bit of alcohol in here. I'm using 2 pipe cleaners because this pipe has a really big draft hole. This is going to help get in there real nice. Just
Yeah,
gonna take that.
I will touch on and say that that's kind of what I like about these corn cobs after you kind of lured me into it, is that it's a lot nicer. It's a lot nicer smoke than what you'd think it would be.
They hit hard.
They do.
And when you're doing this method, especially with a nice briar pipe with a smooth finish like I had before, you want to make sure that you're not getting any of the alcohol on the outside of your pipe. It will mess up the finish. It is ungood. And so we're just going to do the same thing we did before. You can crank it a little bit.
Yeah, easier draw.
Crank it a little bit. Pull it out.
Oh wow!
And as you can see here, this is super gross. That was inside my pipe, making it taste bad. So after you run a pipe cleaner through with the alcohol, you're going to take a clean pipe cleaner with no alcohol. I use the fluffies because they're good at absorbing the moisture. You're going to run that through. And this pipe cleaner also comes out super gross. And so now we're just going to repeat. Oops. So same thing, a little alcohol. Being careful not to get it on the exterior of your pipe. Jamming in. Jamming in. Do a little cranking. Oh, that was ungood. Pipe came apart, which is okay. You can actually take it apart for this process anyway.
I'm
One
going to show
thing-
one of these to the camera there. These are the ones you use them?
Yep.
And these are the which ones?
That's a bristle.
It's a bristle pipe cleaner,
It's a hard bristle.
and it's good for getting gunk and debris out of there. The fluffies are more just for moisture. But one thing about taking your pipe apart, you never want to take your pipe apart while it's hot. So the pipe that I just finished smoking, I'm going to leave that together until it has a chance to cool all the way off. Because as you smoke, the heat causes the pipe to expand.
Right.
And if you pull that out, it's going to risk cracking the tenon. So you want your pipe to heat up and cool down while it's together. And so we could be here all night cleaning this out, but basically you're going to go back and forth between the bristle pipe cleaner and the smooth pipe cleaner until the clean, fluffy pipe cleaner comes out white. Then you know you've got all that stuff out of there.
I think it'd be good to note and show the audience what the tenon is, because maybe they probably don't.
All right. So the stem is here. Then this part right here is the tenon. On the Missouri Meerschaum, it's a little bit different. Is that pipe cold?
It is.
You always want to spin it clockwise when you're taking it off and putting it in. So this is a better example, but the small part that comes up and goes into the pipe, that's the tenon. It's very fragile. It's very thin. you risk breaking your pipe. There you go. All right, so now we're going to work.
We'll get some close-up shots of this for the YouTube.
Absolutely. So now we're going to work on cleaning out the outer sides of this shank. This is a pretty big shank, and these small pipe cleaners did a pretty good job, but we can still get some more stuff out of here. And that's when we're going back to the Q-tip. Same thing you use for your ears. You're just going to take that in there. You get all the way around the outside. And this is going to be gross. So
If it looks like that when it comes out of your ears, you got a problem.
absolutely.
Might have poked your brain.
And you can dip your Q-tip in a little bit of alcohol too. Get it in there, nice and good. And same thing with this process. You're going to take one with the alcohol first. And then you're going to take a clean one. And whenever you're getting the clean one to come out, the same way you put it in, that's when you know you've gotten everything out. And like I said, this pipe is filthy. It will probably take me half an hour to an hour to really get this thing nice and clean. Then we're going to do the same thing with the stem. Because this stem has a lot of area around the outside that was hard to get with that pipe cleaner. So same thing. Just going to go. Once again, being careful not to get it on the outside of the stem as well. It will cause oxidation and discoloring of your stem. So we're going to keep on doing this until we get it to come out clean. And
You can spend a long time doing that.
Absolutely. And so all this black stuff, this pipe, I smoked it earlier today and it tasted terrible. I could barely finish it. There's real sour taste to it.
Hogan, we had a question. How often should you be cleaning the pipe?
That's going to be my question.
Cleaning the pipe in this fashion will depend on how often you're smoking it. Like I mentioned before, this is one of my workhorses. I smoke it on a regular basis. And it's really whenever you start to get that sour taste. And it could be after a week, it could be after a month. A pipe that I don't smoke very often, I'd only have to do this every 6 months maybe. But whenever that sour taste is interfering with your piping pleasure is when you're going to want to do this. And that, all the stuff that was on the sides of my bowl. The next thing we can talk about is cake. Someone was asking before about cake buildup. And cake is just it's a hard layer of material that builds up around the inside of your bowl as you smoke. And what it can do is help insulate your pipe and prevent burnouts. And so the ideal thickness of cake is about the width of a dime. And you can use a pipe reamer, which is a specialized tool. You can use a knife, but if you're using a knife, be real careful because you don't want to cut into your pipe and damage it. I personally keep a very minimal cake on my pipe, just a personal preference. Experiment with it. You might like the way the cake helps to cool your smoke down. That's another thing it could do. The extra thickness is an insulator to cool the smoke down.
Do different types of tobaccos contribute to more sourness or cakes?
Yeah. Like I think Virginias can sour faster. But
Because the sugar's in them, I'm guessing? Or?
yeah, it's just the different compounds in the leaf, the way that they react with the flame and the byproducts they produce are a little bit different. But the cake buildup is pretty universal. It happens about the same rate. But I've got some cake inside of this pipe, and I'm going to get a lot of it out. What I use is just the edge of this part of the check tool. I find it works pretty well. So I'm just going to take it and scrape along the edges of the bowl.
We did have the question, what about aromatics? Can they, I guess it just was an additive to the last question.
I don't have a lot of experience with aromatics, but just whenever you get that sour taste is a good time to clean.
What kind of leaves does Hogshead carry, brands, and blends?
We carry a lot of the Lane. Well, not a lot of Lane, but we carry Lane and Peter Stokkebye or two. We do have a handful of tins, not a whole bunch, just because I think you get more value out of the fresh tobacco than you do out of a tin. Where on average you're probably spending about $2.80 on an ounce of tobacco and a tin of tobacco, which has got maybe a few ounces in it. You're paying upwards to $10 to $15, maybe even $20 a tin. But we do have a variety of the Drew Estate stuff, which people seem to like. So I mean, to go through all of them, you know, it's
Now, if you smoke a pipe wrong or too fast, can it also add to the sour?
Yeah, that's more of a tongue bite. But if you're adding too much heat, you might be getting more of the nasty stuff coming out in your pipe. But here's the cake I was telling you about, the hard material.
And sorry, guys, the questions
I got
are coming in,
over
but they're disappearing. So
Stay on it, dude. Stay on it.
I'm trying.
yeah, one job.
Jeez.
Oh,
Screw it up.
Goodness.
Oh. Dude, look at the ash on that thing.
Oh,
I know you're like the master of that, man.
Look at how clean that is. That's the cleanest one I've seen so far.
Way to go,
LFD,
Winston
son.
Churchill.
LFD.
Thank you, Melimbrick.
All right.
I'm gonna show these guys up close and personal.
Did you bring enough beer for the audience? No, just one bottle.
Oh no.
Look at that.
Sorry, guys.
That's when you know you've got a nice constructed or built cigar. You've got a nice,
Well
clean
built.
ash
Built for speed.
that's not flaking and a nice burn all the way around. That's probably the best ash I've seen. If you look at it from this angle here, I mean, I don't think you can get any better than that.
We got two comments. Melimbrick said perfect ash, and then It's Dave's Run said that's one hot ash.
Why, thank you.
All right.
Dave
So
appreciates a hot ash.
we're pretty much done with our periodic cleaning. Once again, you want to let this rest at least 24 hours to let all that alcohol have a chance to evaporate. If I were to try to smoke this right now, I would taste the alcohol and it'd be ungood. So now we're going to talk about that one last method I meant, like a really deep cleaning method that I mentioned. We call that the salt and spirits method. That's because we use salt and a spirit. In this case, we're going to use the rubbing alcohol. This is a pipe that I did this to last night.
And I'll bring it up there to show.
Show how gross it is. But basically, we're going to fill the bowl with salt, and then we're going to add the alcohol, and we're going to let it sit. And that's going to absorb all the nasty stuff on the edge of the bowl. So the first thing you want to do is I double over some pipe cleaners and just put them in the shank to keep the alcohol from getting everywhere. Jam it in there nice. And then I've got salt. This is plain salt. Does not contain iodine, which is a vital nutrient. I don't know why you have to use plain salt, but that's what they told me, so that's what I do. You're just going to fill it.
How far do you fill it?
You want to leave about a 1/4 inch from the top. So I filled that with salt. And then I use a medicine dropper. Makes it a lot easier, keeps it from getting messy.
That's salt? I
That's,
thought that was a sponge.
that's salt and
Totally.
alcohol. And if you touch it, you feel how hard it is.
That's salt in there.
And so I'm just dropping the alcohol in, kind of slowly and letting it absorb. And you know you're done when all the alcohol is absorbed into the salt and you don't see any moisture on the top.
We've got a question. What is the shank he keeps referencing?
The shank is the portion of the pipe that extends from the bowl. This is called the shank. This is the bowl. We have the stem. And the part that joins the stem to the shank is referred to as the tenon. So I'm just going to drop this in here.
So the neck.
The neck. Sure, that'll work. And you guys can see how it's really wet, and then that moisture absorbs into the salt. See that?
So how often would you do that method?
I like to do this method when I get an estate pipe. A lot of estate pipes are not very well kept. That's an estate pipe that I got. It's probably somewhere in the 70s or 80s, and the guy that owned it probably never cleaned it once ever. It's actually the third time that I've done that, and it's still getting that much out. So if you get a used pipe, you'll want to do that just to keep it fresh. Another time you'll want to do it is if you're switching blends of tobaccos. Say I've been smoking an English blend in that tobacco and I want to switch over to a Virginia blend. If I were to pack a Virginia blend in that
What's
bowl,
the two differences between the two?
it would just taste like the blend that I had smoked before.
You can already start to see that it's browning on the
Already.
edges.
Is it sanitary to smoke someone else's pipe? No.
Would you wear someone else's underwear?
Exactly. No, sorry. No.
But
Some people like to share cigars.
Dave said yes.
yeah.
Malimbrick says estate pipe. That means that's like a pipe coming out of someone's collection, right?
Yeah, it's just a fancy term for a used pipe
But that's why you do the deep cleaning when you get it.
because you don't know
You don't know what
where
they
it's been.
Lost
Oh.
And you can bleach the stem as
Right.
well.
Ryan wants to say that he has to say that Clark is a hot piece of ass.
Not ash.
Not ash, ass.
It happens.
Are you not telling us something, or is something going on here?
Back to why you would use this method.
Let's get off that topic.
Anyway,
Stone Cold Hogan over here.
the ghosting that I mentioned, and that's when you're switching from one blend to the next. And when you're switching to a dissimilar blend, like a Virginia from the English, it's going to taste like whatever you had in there. And so this method is going to pull all of those leftover flavorings from that bowl that you smoked before and give you a clean, fresh start to switch over to something new.
Another good thing to say too is that's why we do a lot of corncob pipes. Is because they're like $5-10. You can go buy a fresh one and
Yep. Like
And keep going.
if you want to try a new blend, you pick up a corncob pipe for real cheap, and that way you can keep it separate. So you can taste all of the flavors from the blend you're trying to smoke and not have any of the leftover flavors from whatever you smoked in it before.
we got a question: what beer are we drinking? I'm gonna pull this again.
Man.
The Mango Magnifico.
See, ay, papi.
Chihuahua. See that? Very delicious.
And that's a great way to wrap up the show, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, once again, thanks for joining us. Any parting words? Parting words of wisdom?
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
Please.
I know Hector's
Pulling
has,
crank.
Hector's has something to do with the rim job.
Crank it and pull it. Give it a rim job. Rub it out.
You rub it out.
Rub it out.
That was the dirtiest episode ever, man. That was
It
ridiculous.
was. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Also, one more time before we do, again, another shout out to Apocalypse Furniture. It's taking a beating, but it's standing up to it. So
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
Stand up. If you come by the shop, come check it out. It's for sale. These chairs are for sale. Everything here is for sale. Just you offer Hector enough money, and it's yours.
Yeah, no. What's next week?
Next week we will be. Well, we'll either be at Lindsay's or she'll be here. We don't know which.
Oh, very cool.
But there will be a haircut in progress, I hear.
We are asking
So-
for a review of the product, so the cigar.
Again, the cigar is the LFD Double Claro. I'm really enjoying this. We'll definitely bring this. We're bringing this in because that's just delicious.
And then the tobacco we smoked.
Tobacco was-
GL Peace, Westminster. It's a full English blend. Very, very fine blend. One of my favorites.
And then again, the Mango Magnifico from Founders up in Grand Rapids. Check it out. It's
Fantastic beer.
It's
Yeah.
a
That's
limited
delicious.
edition. It's called the Backstage Series. So check it out. I've got about 10. I think I got 10 bottles left at the shop. So just came in today.
Nice.
Thank you guys. See you next week.
Thank you so much. See you guys.
Cheers.